Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Okay, roll call.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Here.
Supervisor Blazer.
Here.
Supervisor Fuhrer is absent. Supervisor Bradford.
Here.
Supervisor Messick.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, as far as consent items. I'm ready.
Could I talk about the Zoom real quick? The Zoom.
Oh, you're going to mention it?
Yes.
Okay, we have a brief announcement about Zoom.
So we are having some technical difficulties with Zoom this morning. So if you do plan on submitting public comments or wanted to participate in any way with the Board of Supervisors meeting, we are asking that you please contact the clerk of the board's office. You could do so by email, and that is clerkoftheboard@co.yuba.ca.us, or you can call the office directly at 530-749-7510.
Okay, on consent, all matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be action items that are routine and can be enacted in one motion. Do we have any board? Do we have any board comment? Do we have any public comment? Calling for a motion.
So moved. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Consent items pass. Okay, we're down to presentations. We're going to do a special proclamation to the city of Wheatland recognizing their 150th year anniversary. Supervisor Bradford and I will be doing this. Do we have a representative from Wheatland? Yeah, we should
be down maybe and maybe.
Oh, we could still do it.
See if they show up.
Okay.
Yeah.
They didn't show up.
I think we're going to wait a little bit for Wheatland, but in the meantime, we're going to move ahead to the proclamation to the Smartsville Church Restoration Fund. Well, can you hear me all right? All right. I've been to this Marksville area many times, Pioneer Days, walking up and down the hills, the tours, which were great. So in recognition of that, we're going to do a little proclamation for the restoration of the church. So I've been there many times, and so I've seen the church evolve from kindling almost up until this present day. So that being said, whereas the Church of Immaculate Conception was built in Smartsville in 1850 and rebuilt in 1871 after being destroyed by fire, and whereas the church discontinued services in the 1960s, which ceased the building to be maintained, and whereas in 1998, the Sacramento Diocese donated the church building and grounds to a new nonprofit corporation, the Smartsville Church Restoration Fund, Inc., who would commence restoration. And whereas the annual festival in Smartsville, which is the Smartsville and Timbuktu Pioneer Day, is the principal fundraising event hosted by the Smartsville Church Restoration Fund, Inc., to show visitors all that Smartsville has to offer. The historic festival hosts live music, exhibits, various crafts, food vendors, and offers tours of the Smartsville Church, Blue Point Mine, and Sucker Flat. And whereas their mission is to save and restore the former Catholic Church for use as a community visitor center and museum. Now, therefore, the Yuba County Board of Supervisors commends the tremendous efforts of the Smartsville Church Restoration Fund in their united efforts to save the historic church, in which community events have given Smartsville the public attention to renew dignity. This is a wonderful organizational group that has been working on this since, what did I say, 1960s? Anyway, if you ever have a chance, and I think Pioneer Day is here this weekend, this Saturday, you should try to go take one of the tours. I've been on the Sucker Flat tour, which really demonstrates the effects of the hydraulic mining. At one point, you're down in this valley, and they explain that it used to be a mountain. It's a really a good tour. So if you can fit it in, you should really try to go up there. So we have with us today Kit and Janet Burton. Do you have anybody else?
I have a lot of friends.
A lot of friends. Janet, do you want to say a couple things? You can stand on my shoulder.
Talk loud.
Oh, you can.
He'll bend down.
This is really wonderful, especially for Kit, because Kit has poured so much and hasn't taken a penny, but has donated, in fact, and given his time and his engineering expertise, and he's just such a calm, rational person. And so I'm happy to have supported him all these years too. I'm the secretary of the group. Pioneer Day is really awesome for you to come. If you can come, it's fun. It's for family. It's for you. It's for shoppers and for people who want to see a historic person who was actually in the church. I could go on and on once I start talking, but Friends for the Preservation of Yuba County History is represented here, and their president comes and dresses up as a priest who tragically drowned. Like I say, I could just keep on going and going, but if you come, you'll see, and thank you so much for this honor. It's really precious.
Well, I don't have any prepared remarks, and if I did, I probably would fumble them all up, but basically, it's been quite an interesting process to restore that church and all that it means to Yuba County. It has great importance to me and Janet and to well, many of us, and not the least of which is the entire county and even the state. It's been a very interesting process and something that has enriched all of us, and I hope the county. And part of what we've done is very visible if you compare what the church looked like 20 some years ago to what it looks like now. It's and even day to day these days, you should see the new floor church. It's absolutely stunning. So come to Smartsville and enjoy what we have there. There's a lot of great history and a lot of interesting things there. It's quite an asset to Yuba County. So thank you very much.
There you go.
So we have a Wheatland representative on the way, so we will get back to that. We're going to go to 192-2024, which is receiving Public Guardian Department update. Did I leave my glasses down there?
Yeah, I think so.
We might need those.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning to the board. I am here to provide an update on the Public Guardians Department. I serve as your public guardian for the County of Yuba. We do have a statement of commitment to the community as well as our conservancies, which is to provide safety, the well-being, trust of our client population by providing the highest level of service, ensuring individual need, sustaining functional resources, and preserving the life for the citizens of Yuba County. Public Guardian is actually a very small department. We have a public guardian, myself, deputy public guardian, and accounting technician. I thought they would be, but they're there somewhere. Back there. Okay. And I appreciate their dedication to this department. The Public Guardians Department serves under the jurisdiction of the court, and we provide conservatorship services for the elderly, for individuals that suffer from severe mental illness, medical disabilities, and others that are at risk or vulnerable adults within the community. Services provided include, but they're not limited to, case management, overseeing mental and physical health services, safeguarding real and personal property, case management, overseeing placement of conservatees, estate administration, court appearances, and reporting responsibilities to the court as well as to Social Security and VA. And let's see. So there are certification.
Chair, can you press the slideshow, please? So that we. Thank you. I can't read all that stuff down below.
Well, that.
There we go.
The certification requirements. Yeah, I was trying.
There we go.
Okay. We are overseen by the California State Association of Public Administrators, Public Guardians, and Public Conservators, and they provide the necessary certification required within California and described in the probate codes. Members are required to complete 40 units within a 4-year period, and then it's also mandates continued certification to remain in compliance. Myself, the public guardian, and the deputy public guardian are currently fully certified, and we're continuously working on our recertification units. The goal is to have all staff within the department certified. And then conservatorship appointments. There are appointments for the person, which is arranging and managing the care and protection of the person. Conservatorship of the estate, which is managing their benefits, their finances, assets, applying for any eligible income, making sure their bills are paid and investing money and protecting their assets. The conservator is given legal authority by the Superior Court for living arrangements, property, finances, and medical treatment of the conservatee who is found to be gravely disabled or subject to undue influence, resulting in their inability to provide for their food, shelter, and clothing. There are a few different types of conservatorships. The first one I'm going to talk about is probate, and that is when the Superior Court appoints my department to oversee individuals that are unable to provide for their personal need of health, food, clothing, shelter, or they're just unable to manage their resources or resist undue influence. Some of those diagnoses include dementia, cognitive impairment, intellectual disabilities, undue influence. And some examples of managing their medical is if they lack the capacity to make healthcare decisions, the conservator has authority to make those decisions in their behalf in good faith and based on medical advice, and determines what's in the best need of the conservatees. And of course, the conservator shall make healthcare decisions in accordance with the conservatee's individual care instructions if they have any pre-planned instructions. And it's also, my department also determines the least restrictive placement within the state of California that can meet the needs of that particular individual. And of course, it's management of their finances, income, making sure that they are eligible and remain eligible for Medicaid or any other insurance, Medicare, real property, prepare court accountings that are approved by the Superior Court. There's also limited conservatorships. My office doesn't necessarily do these. I think these are more for families that have children with developmental disabilities that at the age of 18, the parents are no longer able to make decisions on their behalf. So limited conservatorship is something that can help them. And so the court defines what powers and duties the conservator has and what rights the conservatee will continue to have, and it protects the individual. And the intent is to encourage self-reliance and independence in the community. And again, our office doesn't necessarily petition for limited conservatorships. We currently don't have any. And then there's LPS conservatorships, which is what we call our mental health conservatorships. And that is established under the LPS Act. And it's a determination by a psychiatrist or psychologist if an individual is gravely disabled or unable to provide for their food, shelter, or clothing due to a mental health diagnosis. So, some of the requirements is they must have a mental health diagnosis. We really don't do chronic alcoholism, the unwilling or incapable of accepting treatment voluntarily. So my department will oversee individualized psychiatric treatment, supervision, and placement. Conservator has the authority to place individuals in locked psychiatric facilities and authorize psychotropic medications. And also it's continuously to determine the least restrictive placement within the state of California that meets the needs of our conservatees. And at the same time, if you are getting conservator of the estate, you're managing their finances, their income, their medical, real property, trusts, and you're preparing annual accountings. And this is an annual reappointment by the court. So we have to petition every year for this conservatorship. And it does also require court authorization for treatment that's not necessarily routine or a part of their psychiatric treatment, which we're going through 3 of them right now. And then there are Murphy conservatorships, which is a specialized conservatorship for the continued care and treatment of mentally incompetent felony criminal offenders. The commitment charges, you have to have a felony that involves great bodily injury or serious threat to the physical well-being of another person, or even death. And this requires specialized collaboration between the courts, the DA's office, public defender, behavioral health, and then my department and county council. Currently, I did a just over the last few years, calendar years from 21 to 23, the total referrals our office has received and then the total that we have accepted. So in 2023, we received 26 referrals. Out of those 26, 14 were probate, 12 were LPS, 6 probate were accepted, and 4 LPS were accepted. And it's a breakdown of where our referrals mostly come from, which is right out the hospital, courts, mental health, APS, and other doctors in the community. So currently our caseload is 84, and out of the 84, 48 are LPS, which is the mental health conservatorship, and 36 are probates. And we currently have 5 pending investigations. And I want to say like 2 are probate and 3 are mental health. Some of our department highlights over the last year, we successfully relocated from the government center to the Yuba County Courthouse. And then, you know, it also, we did this without interruption to care of our conservatees. We successfully completed an MOU with Sutter Yuba Behavioral Health, which does expire at the end of June. So we're currently working on our new MOU. We are successfully completing our Social Security annual audits with our specified conservatees that Social Security randomly will pick, or every year they are requesting information. We secured assets for a conservatee, sold real property. We maintained monthly conservatee resource limits because it does require that their cash resource limit is under a certain amount for them to continue to be eligible for Medi-Cal or Medicare. And then conservatees remained in the lowest level of care that meets their needs. And deferring the implementation of SB 43, which was expanding grave disability, to January of 2026. And our department goals is, you know, obviously to establish another position to meet the needs of our referrals, conservatees in the public guardian's office. We are seeing an increase of referrals from both mental health, LPS related, and probate. And it's, you know, our offices continue to remain focused and aligned with the county's strategic plan, community and behavioral health, social services, service delivery, and safety. And, you know, Care Court is going to be coming at the end of the year, which is, you know, and we'll continue to collaborate with agencies in meeting the needs of the program, which was initiated by Governor Newsom, you know, which is the court-ordered connecting a person to services that is struggling with a mental illness in the community. And it is a petition that can be filed outside of the public guardian's office. And, you know, of course, is to continue and prepare for the grave disability expansion. And that is it.
Any board questions?
Through the chair, there was one item there in your first slide or two that said you handle people unwilling to accept voluntary treatment.
Yes.
That's a pretty big statement. How do you manage to do that?
That is where most of ours are mental health conservatees. So
Okay.
we are then consenting on their behalf to psychotropics that they necessarily would not take and be in compliance for their treatment to maintain stability in the community. And, you know, some of them may be requiring a higher level of care, sometimes locked facilities, and working their way back into the community where they're in least restrictive placement, and then still overseeing their individualized treatment.
Thank you very much. Great presentation.
A quick question. You have 80 some cases that are active. Some have different sunsets. Some can go on for a long time.
Yeah, the probates go on, they actually, I'm sorry, let me back up. Probate and LPS, because we do petition the LPS annually for reappointment. Some of them are continuous. I think the longest one we've had is from 79.
Yeah.
And so that's a pretty long time. Majority of that that individual's adult life has been under the conservatorship.
So with care court and other mandates coming down the line, I'm assuming you're going to struggle to keep up with it.
That's the goal is to increase staff so we can keep up with it and start kind of ahead of the game.
Yeah.
I think other counties aren't seeing it as a huge of an increase of referrals as originally had estimated or thought. So hopefully the goal is to that happens.
Okay, I appreciate the present. Any other questions? All right, thank you for your time. I think we have Wheatland in the room. Maybe. Oh, I saw an important looking person come in, maybe not. All right, let's go on to public. Little technological adjustment. Natalie, public communications.
Any person may speak about any subject of concern, provided it is within the jurisdiction of the Board of Supervisors and is not already on today's agenda. The total amount of time allotted for receiving such public communication shall be limited to a total of 15 minutes, and each individual or group will be limited to no more than 3 minutes. Prior to this time, speakers are requested to fill out a request to speak card and submit it to the clerk of the Board of Supervisors. Please note, no board action can be taken on comments made under this heading. And through the chair, I have one request to speak card and no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, who do we have?
John Sullivan.
How you doing? Name's John Sullivan. We're a third and fourth generation native California born American family. California is where we live and we are standing our ground. Today I'm here to talk about AB 1346. It should never have been created. It's a very nefarious bill and it criminalizes the business owners for selling small gas engines, 26 horsepower or less, all the way down to 1 horsepower. Internal combustion engine's been around for 160 years, and this is all in the name of climate change. As you know, the last time I was here, I shut my business down last September. It's a carpet cleaning business. Goodbye to all carpet cleaners in California in the future, because eventually they're going to need another machine. And this is just a gateway bill here to get rid of big rigs that deliver our products and our foods, and including classic cars. And it's all in the name of climate change and zero emissions. So all the batteries are made the same way, but I'll read off what it takes to make the batteries for one EV. Basically, all the emissions are baked into the cake before you do good and decide you're going to buy an electric car or electric product. To manufacture each EV battery, you must process 25,000 pounds of brine for the lithium, 30,000 pounds of ore for the cobalt, 5,000 pounds of ore for the nickel, 25,000 pounds of ore for the copper, digging up 500,000 pounds of the Earth's crust with massive diesel equipment for just one battery for one electric car. This does not include the extra heavy tire production for emissions, the toxic fires they make in a crash for the firefighters, the toxic disposal of the batteries, and the charging people do. They don't know it, but a lot of it is under fossil fuels. It's also why we need free and fair elections with voter ID, paper ballot, and same-day voting, so we can get rid of these nefarious bills and the bad people that are riding like this Mark Berman in Menlo Park that doesn't want to lose his beauty sleep. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, appreciate it. No.
Everybody leaves. I want to comment, everybody's here.
Please hold. He'd like me. What do you want us to talk about?
Pioneer Days.
Oh, yeah, you don't wait till the other statement. We just did a thing about Pioneer Days.
Yeah, I think we should do Ken.
You're the chair. You can do it.
Wheatland is here. Yes.
I don't see it.
Do you want to do see?
What's that?
Do you want
Can we jump to board comments? Yes. Okay, we're going to move to county departments. Oh, we have one more public comment from Joe.
Morning, everyone. Thank you guys so much for allowing me the time to speak today. My name is Joseph Faree, and I own and operate the Silver Dollar Saloon in Marysville. I sit on the board of the Yuba-Sutter Restaurant Association, and I take tremendous pride in my community, a community in which I've been serving for over 20 years. The following is being brought to your attention because of your involvement in appointing committee members to this agenda and agency. I am hoping that you'll be concerned about the direction this agency is taking our money and that they're taking our money out of the community. On January 17th, I reached out to the Agency on Aging to be added to a list of bidders for the newly funded Meals on Wheels program, which was offering a $360,000 grant to one or more local restaurants. After receiving a response, my wife and I eagerly awaited the Zoom meeting in which we'd get all the information needed to submit our application. At the Zoom meeting, I felt like we asked all the right questions, but there was just too much information to get the answers in the allotted time. So another option was presented by staff. We were to reach out to Drewski's Brick and Mortar to get help in filling out the application from someone who's done it before. The admins kindly pointed us inside to his contact information inside the Zoom chat. We spent countless nights after work fine-tuning our application. I left messages on Drew's contact number, Facebook Messenger, email, Instagram, all with no response. We pushed through and delivered the best application we could at the lowest price point we could with the information that we had at hand. In March, I reached back out to the agency to inquire on when the grant recipients would be notified and received a response 2 weeks later with the names. When opening that email, I was ready to celebrate the lucky Yuba-Sutter recipient, but noticed something odd. One winner was 2 Bits Express, which was great news. We love celebrating our local restaurants. But the other, however, was Drewski's Brick and Mortar, not local, and the same restaurant that was charged with helping the applicants complete their paperwork. In my opinion, a definite conflict of interest and truthfully not a good look in terms of aesthetics. The requirements for the Yuba-Sutter Meals on Wheels program, which are still plainly viewable online, are your restaurant must be located in Yuba or Sutter County and locally owned and operated. The other half of this contract should have stayed within the Yuba-Sutter community as a whole, or the whole contract should have been given to 2 Bits Express, being that his application clearly stated that he could handle the whole volume. Today, I'm hoping to gain your support in this fight. This grant was clearly meant to be given to our community, yet the powers that be in the Capitol have decided to send it to Sacramento. My plan moving forward is to use our platform and our large social media following to put it in the court of public opinion. And I'm hoping that with a little bit of your support, they'll hear us loud and clear. I've included a little bit more context, and I'll hand you guys some paperwork to look over. Unfortunately, my printer ran out of ink, so I was only able to create one copy. Thank you very much for listening to me today.
Thanks,
Chair. Through the chair.
Okay, yes.
Can we get a report on what happened during this?
Yeah, I
Awarding.
talked to Joe a little bit, and we are working on that.
Okay, bring it back before the board. Thank you for your effort trying to keep your restaurant open. I know you've been beating your head against the wall a lot. Thank you.
Okay, county departments. All matter listed under county departments are action items which will be considered and voted on separately. And first we have 196, 2024 probation. And that will be presented by
Chair, Board, Eric Runge, Yuba County Probation Victim Services. here today to have our resolution approved for April 21st through April 27th, being National Crime Victims' Rights Week. Sunday, we kicked off National Crime Victims' Crimes Week with our 33rd annual Candlelight Vigil, where we honor victim survivors of victims of homicide. And our list continues to grow. My staff works extremely hard to make it a perfect event for loved ones to come together and memorialize their lost loved one. We know professionally we're supposed to maintain our boundaries. But when you meet these victims and their families, those boundaries seem to thin because these individuals become like family to my staff and our people. We want to make sure we serve our community the right way, and ensuring that we serve them as if they are family is what we choose to do. So again, here before the board with our resolution to kick off National Crime Victims' Rights Week. And with that, we like to do presentations and award individuals who have assisted us in providing our crime victims with what they need. Am I on the right agenda item?
Yes.
Okay. Pretty close by day. Maybe I'm not on the right agenda item. So first and foremost, we have Brownsville Lutheran Church Mountain Quilt Guild. That's a mouthful. But these young ladies provide us yearly with quilts. You can see over here on display what we get. But we get these quilts to provide to our victims who are going through some of the most traumatic experiences anybody could ever think of. We allow these individuals our victims to take these quilts, and they get comfort out of them. This provides them with some kind of comfort. So again, with that, we want to present a certificate to our Brownsville Lutheran Church Mountain Quilt Guild. Okay, moving on. Lindsay, come on up. I'm gonna get the crying out of the way right away. So Lindsay Devereaux. Lindsay is a dedicated and committed member of the Yuba County Sheriff Department as a community service officer, but also with our multidisciplinary interview team as a forensic interviewer. She began this journey approximately 2 years ago, but maybe a little bit more than that. So we went through training together. I'll have to stand so far away. I did shower this morning, I swear. Since that time, she's completed over 50 forensic interviews of children who have experienced sexual abuse, physical abuse, and even been witness to domestic violence incidents. The reason for Lindsay's recognition today is that she comes to work on her days off, stays late, works overtime, and makes herself available when children of Yuba County need her. So, okay. Right? Okay. Sometimes these interviews are on an emergency type basis and come together within minutes. Lindsay is one who can be depended on in those times. We should all take some comfort in knowing that we have people like Lindsay Devereaux assisting us in protecting our children every day. All right, Monica, your turn. Monica Vasquez Rodriguez. Monica works with the juvenile caseload. She's a hardworking, dedicated, and team player. Monica always makes sure the victims are heard and is willing to listen to their wants and their needs. Victim Services appreciates all of what Monica's hard work accounts for, and that it does not go unnoticed. So Monica has one of the juvenile caseloads. We have juvenile offenders who have victims that we have to take care of. Her job is to make sure that the probationer or the defendant kind of gets what they need to rehabilitate. But in the meantime, she also takes into consideration the victims that the individual she has to work with get treated correctly. We've seen this time and time again with Monica, and we really appreciate it, and that's why we're recognizing her today. All right, Brad. Come on up, Brad. Your turn. I might not be wearing a tie, but I did dress for the occasion. All right. This is Brad Morrow. Brad, even though fairly new to the district attorney's office, which is not true now, even though time might be short, his experience has been fast and furious. Anyway, has shown his dedication to crime victims of Yuba County. He goes out of his way to make sure victims are aware of what is going on in their case, whether it be through us or he is willing to call them directly. Brad initiates meetings so clients feel comfortable with him and get to know them so that he can have them ready for preliminaries or trials. Each client that has worked with him has been genuinely appreciative of his handling of the case, even if the case does not go as one would hope. Brad is definitely a great asset to this county who will fight for our victims. He is also part of our multidisciplinary team and always ready to attend, as these can get called at any time. So these, in between his cases, in between court hearings, in between trials, in between meetings with our clients, he also makes time for our children of Yuba County to make sure he's a piece of our multi-interview process. So again, Brad, that's why we want to. All right, Detective, your turn. This is Detective Fayette. Detective Fayette is new to the detective unit and has shown a dedication and compassion to our crime victims. He also attends our multidisciplinary interviews. He is great at working with families and explaining what will happen next, as this can be a very traumatic time for them. He strives to do his best at all that he does, and we are grateful at Victim Services to get to work with him. He does not hesitate to call us when he needs assistance, and that's quite often. So again, we appreciate Detective for all you do for us in Yuba County. Okay, last but not least, James Davis. Yeah, you. Yeah, you didn't know this was coming, did you? Stay right here. So this is James Davis. As you see, we work kind of in the same department because we dress alike. It's not because we're old together, it's because we dress alike. James Davis is a over 25-year employee with Yuba County Probation and Victim Services. He is a loyal and dedicated employee that demonstrates teamwork at all times. James has worked with both probation clients as well as victims for many years. Between working with both completely different clientele, he is efficient in determining what types of services is best for each one, whether it be individual, family, or group sessions and programs. James interacts with his therapy clients as evident for his love for the job. This guy comes into work every day with the same kind of passion that he started with on day one. And I hope that this is a role model and example to me to come into work every day with the same kind of passion. James Davis truly loves his clients and wants to see the best for them. So it's kind of hard not to recognize an individual who wants to see other people successful. James, that's why we wanted. Thank you. So we talked about our 33rd candlelight vigil. So Paula Gomes, you still here, Paula? Oh, sorry. Come on. Come on. Come on. So that's the way Victim Services does it. We surprise attack people. So, because we know, listen, these people that you saw recognized today don't do this for the recognition. They don't do it for the paycheck. They do it because they care about people and they want to see people be successful and, you know, a community grow. And Paula's one of those people. So Paula provides us at Victim Services with a tremendous amount of support during our candlelight for many years now. Can't remember. We put her in shock, so she can't think straight. But anyway, we just want to recognize Paula, provide her with a certificate of appreciation. She does the video for our candlelight vigil. And as you know, our homicide victim list just keeps growing, unfortunately. And so she's the one that adds the pictures, adds the content, adds the names of the victims, and assists us on Sunday evenings setting this up. So again, Paula, we can't do this without you, okay? And this community wouldn't be as good as it is without you. And with that, board, I'm done.
Well, we really appreciate it, and it's great seeing such a tight-knit organization and department that's obviously very much needed. Any other board comments?
Sure, through the chair, just Eric, thank you to you and your team for all you do for those in the communities, the partners as well that you work with, and congratulations and thank you to all those that you honored today. Thank you, sir.
Through the chair, I don't think, Eric, that people are understand the number of calls that you guys do every year. And I don't know if you have that number, but I don't know how you guys do it.
So you were in a meeting with me, just this last week, and I presented a quarterly report, and I think it was between 500 to 800 contacts with clients in 3 months. So my team is working very fast and furiously to make sure that we make contact with these individuals so that they feel like they're heard. So, but thank you. Thank you, board.
Any other board comment?
No, very impressive. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any public comment? And do we have a motion?
So I'll make a motion to adopt resolution declaring April 21st through April 27th, 2024, National Crime Victims' Rights Week, and allow probation department and victim services unit to honor local law enforcement, district attorney, and probation department staff for outstanding services to crime victims of Yuba County.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Nobody's opposed? Thank you very much.
Chair, board, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to take one step back. We have a proclamation for the city of Wheatland.
Bill Zanoni, can you come up, please? So we have this morning Bill Zanoni, the city manager for the city of Wheatland, here to receive this proclamation. I'm going to go ahead and read it. County of Yuba Board of Supervisors proclamation celebrating 150 years of Wheatland, California. Whereas the dynamic city of Wheatland, California proudly marks its sesquicentennial anniversary since its incorporation, and whereas Wheatland officially achieved city status on April 13th, 1874, embarking on a century and a half of remarkable history, growth, and community spirit, and whereas the citizens, civic leaders, and businesses of Wheatland have significantly contributed to the city's prosperity, creating a vibrant community that thrives on diversity, resilience, and a shared commitment to progress. And whereas Wheatland, with its scenic landscapes, agricultural heritage, and welcoming atmosphere, has become a beloved home to generations of families, fostering a strong sense of civic pride and unity among its residents. And whereas the city's dedication to education, preservation of historical landmarks, and support for local businesses has played a pivotal role in shaping Wheatland into a city that stands as a beacon of community strength and cooperation. And whereas Wheatland has faced challenges with fortitude, demonstrating a collective spirit that has defined the city as a resilient and unified community. And whereas on this auspicious occasion, we honor 150 years of Wheatland's cityhood, we extend our gratitude to all who have contributed to the city's growth and prosperity. Now, therefore, the Yuba County Board of Supervisors proclaims that the city of Wheatland be celebrated and honored for 150 years of incorporation and recognizes the enduring spirit, dedication, and achievements of Wheatland citizens throughout its illustrious history as they preserve its heritage, foster community bonds, and embrace the values that make Wheatland a unique and cherished city. Congratulations. The fellow board members like to join us for a picture.
Briefly, I want to thank you very much for this. I apologize for being late, but on behalf of the mayor and city council, I and myself, we appreciate this. We have a city council meeting tonight, so I will deliver this to the city council, and then we will hang it in a place of honor in City Hall. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, moving back to county departments, 193-204, Health and Human Services.
Can you hear me okay? Good morning, Chair and members of the board. My name is Jamie Bartolome, Deputy Director at Health and Human Services. I'm coming before you today to request your consideration for approving an agreement between Yuba County Health and Human Services and Adventist Health and Rideout to provide enrollment and assistance to maintain medical and other public assistance benefits offered by the county. Patients admitted to the hospital are often not enrolled in or aware of programs available to cover the cost of healthcare expenses, in addition to other public assistance programs which they qualify for. Currently, this results in the patients being referred to HHS to apply for benefits, which can be cumbersome for many who are already experiencing health challenges. Recent changes to eligibility to the Medi-Cal program have resulted in many individuals becoming eligible to the program who may have formerly not met the criteria. Having an enrollment specialist embedded at the hospital to assist with applications for Medi-Cal, CalFresh, and CalWorks will alleviate the administrative burden to HHS, patients, and the hospital, ensure community members are enrolled in and begin receiving benefits in a timely manner, decrease the number of uninsured patients receiving medical care, provide an immediate and efficient means for customers to enroll and resolve issues with their medical health coverage, and reduce the health risks caused by lapsed health coverage and improve patients' health outcomes. This partnership aligns with the county's strategic plan to deliver convenient, responsive, safe, and reliable services. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any board comments or questions? Any public comments? Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have 213-2024 Community Development and Services.
Morning, Chair, Board members, Craig Herbert, Public Works. So the 2024 CSA resurfacing project consists of sealing and restriping the roads in the Edgewater community. On March 12th, the board approved advertisement for bid. On April 3rd, we received 3 bids for this project. So Public Works is recommending the Board of Supervisors award the contract to the apparent low, responsive and responsible bidder, VSS International, for the base bid amount of $1,326,151.40 and authorize the chair to execute upon review and approval of County Council and Risk Management. And with that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
So just refreshing, as I remember, it affects about 100 roads to some degree.
Yes,
and about 18 miles.
Just short of 18 miles of roadways.
Yeah. So it's mainly all Edgewater, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we got a pretty good response when you proposed it last time. So people are excited about that and that we're doing a very visible project. So Thank you. Any other board comments?
Through the chair. Is it a local company that won?
They're out of Sacramento.
We don't have a requirement to
No.
give priority to local.
Any other board comments?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Any
Second.
public comments?
Second.
No. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have one more, 151-2024 Community Development and Services.
Morning again, Craig Herbert, Public Works. So the Los Vergeles Bridge was built in 1940 and it is structurally deficient. The design was completed for the county by WSP and the board authorized advertisement for bid on January 23rd of this year. We received 2 bids on April 12th. 88% of this project is funded by the Highway Bridge Program, and the remaining funding is a cost share between Yuba County and Butte County. So with that, Public Works recommends the board award the contract to the apparent low, responsive, and responsible bidder, Steelhead Constructors, for $6,316,021.50, and authorize the chair to execute upon review of and approval of County Council and Risk Management.
How many bidders did we have?
Just 2.
Oh, just 2. Okay. Any board comment? Any public comment?
I would like to make a comment through the chair.
Okay.
So obviously we're getting a lot of feedback on this project on Facebook, social media.
Yes.
Have you guys been getting a lot of calls on the closure? Yeah.
Concern, evacuation routes, fire danger.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunate part of this project is the county does not have right of way, so we don't have the ability to leave the old bridge in place and build a new one.
Yeah.
So it basically has to get built over the top of the existing bridge. So
yeah,
the road will be closed for the period of time, but our goal is to get this project constructed and hopefully have it done and completed by the end of this year.
Yeah. So I think it'll be an asset to the road in the future, but it's going to be
painful
for a few people.
It will definitely be an inconvenience for a period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Through the chair. I was taking gold out of that little pond underneath there back in the early 60s with a turkey baster and a little 3 cans soldered together in a glass jar top on that.
Oh, I was always told that was a nudist beach back then. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's no detour. We did. detour that is. No.
Yeah, way around. I mean,
Yeah.
either way, you're going way around.
Okay, ordinances and public hearings. Natalie, can you read that for us?
If you challenge in court the action or decision of the Yuba County Board of Supervisors regarding a zoning, planning, land use, or environmental protection matter made at any hearing described in this notice, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else raised at such hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the Yuba County Board of Supervisors at or prior to such hearing. Public comments will be limited to 3 minutes per individual or group.
Okay, we're 204, 2024 Community Development and Services Agency. Kevin.
Good morning, Chair and board members. I'm Kevin Perkins of Community Development. This is the second reading of essentially some changes to the fee structure for the hourly rate for community development, and also some changes to the number of hours on projects that we work on. There hasn't been any changes since the first reading. I'm here to answer any questions your board might have.
We're going to open, we're going to hold a public hearing. So we're opening the public hearing. Do we have any board comments or public comments? No. So we're going to close the public hearing. Do we have a motion?
Motion to waive the second reading and adopt the ordinance repealing and reenacting chapters in the paragraph here.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Roll call.
Oh, this is a roll call vote. Yes.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer is absent. Supervisor Bradford.
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we closed the public hearing, so we're good.
Yep.
93, 2024 County Administrator.
Good morning, Board. Jenna Shin, Management Analyst for the County Administrator's Office. Similar to what Mr. Perkins just stated, we were back here on April 9th, 2024, offered some changes to our master fee schedule on a variety of departments. We're here today for the second reading of that. There's no changes from the first original reading, and after that, I would be happy to answer any questions.
We're going to open a public hearing. Does the board have any questions?
No.
No public questions? Closing the public hearing. And do we have a motion?
Move to waive the second reading and adopt the ordinance repealing and reenacting the chapters in the paragraph, and that'll do it.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second and a roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhrer is absent. Supervisor Bradford.
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you.
All right, we're moving on to 200/2024 Community Development and Services. Kevin.
Again, Kevin Perkins, Yuba County CDSA. Before you today is a development agreement between, let me get this out, Huss Brothers, Inc., California Corporation, Cal Sierra Limited, LP, a California Limited Partnership, Hilbers Properties, LP, a California Limited Partnership, and Sean O'Neill, an individual. And the DA is for some development rights for the Feather River Center. Just a little bit of background. The Feather River Center is a commercial center that's located along Northfield Road and Lyndhurst Avenue, east of Highway 70 in the community of Linda. This project actually has been going on for a long time. So it's a long time coming to your board. Community development first started looking at this development agreement actually in 2019. At that point, a little step back, the Feather River Center is or was a really bustling commercial center in the 1980s. It's approximately 489,000 square feet. In 1986, it experienced a pretty significant flood event, and the center never really returned to its economic vibrancy. Over the past, and I did some math wrong in my staff report. I said 25 years. It should have been 35 years. Over the past 35 years, the center's kind of gone downhill. And then in 2019, community development, the center was not in a good place visually. It was blighted. There were a lot of issues with break-ins and other code-related cases there. And so community development reached out to the property owner to see if they wanted to enter into a development agreement to demolish the buildings in exchange for agreeing to keep the fee credits that were inherent or built into the building. So when the buildings were originally built, they were built with building permits, and so they had fee credits built into them, or the developers had a vested right to those fee credits. There wasn't really a reason for them to tear down the building, because if they tore down the building, they'd have 6 months to build something new to replace or so they wouldn't lose the fee credits. So the county wanted to get ahead of that, and so we proposed a DA to the Feather River Center owners that in exchange for demoing the building, the county would give them some fee credits. We started that process. Then, as your board knows, the site burnt down besides the Food Max, and the site was demolished on their own. And so before to you today is basically it took a little time to get this in front of you, because at first it was more dealing with the aftermath of the fire, getting the site cleaned up. And then as Costco and some of the other businesses said that they wanted to go there, we were dealing with more getting those businesses permitted and in place. So effectively, I'll give you now the details of development agreement. First of all, the DA is for a period of 10 years. The county will agree to process building permits with as best we can within 30 days of any new building permits coming into the site. The developer will have a fee credit of 204,120 square feet. I know I mentioned it was 489,000 square feet, but Food Max is still standing and didn't get demoed. And we also subtracted the square footage of Costco and the Costco gas station, because those have already been built, which is why we have the 204,120 square feet left. As part of these fee credits, we wanted to incentivize the owners to develop the site quicker or more quickly. So for the first 5 years of the development agreement, they get full 100% fee credit. But as year 5 hits, year 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, there'll be a 20% decrease in the fee credits over time. So I did want to mention that to your board. Also, as part of the development agreement, the county has required that the improvements to a map that was done on the site in 2005, TPM 2005-0025, those improvements still need to be done. Effectively, it's some fair share contribution for any improvements to the intersection of Scales and Lyndhurst Avenue, and also some paving requirements along Scales Avenue. Also, the developer will be required to enter into a landscape maintenance agreement with the county. I don't know if you guys have been out there, but at this time of year, the landscaping along the frontage of North Beale and Lyndhurst Avenue doesn't look the best. The weeds are growing high, and as part of this DA, the developer will be required to submit a landscape maintenance agreement, and they will be required to maintain, repair, and maintain the landscaping moving forward. And also, the developer has agreed to submit a master architectural design guideline for the site. The site isn't subject to design review by the county. However, the developer or the property owners want to make sure that they have buildings that look consistently. So they're submitting a master architectural guideline for staff to be able to follow for future buildings. Excuse me. And lastly, the developer, the property owner, has agreed to pay a one-time $50,000 fee to the planning department that will then be used as somewhat seed money for some upcoming long-range planning activities the planning department's going to embark on. Lastly, this item did go before the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission on November 20th, 2023 voted 5-0 to recommend approval of this item to your board. And staff has found this item exempt from CEQA pursuant CEQA section 15302, which covers replacement and reconstruction of structures. I'm here to answer any questions your board might have. And that concludes my presentation.
I have a question through the chair. You deducted the Costco square footage. Did they get credit for that?
Yes.
When they did Costco? Okay.
So both the Costco building, the roughly 150,000 square foot building, and then the gas station both got credits because they were still within the timeline from when the demo permit was finalized to when they would typically lose the credits. So
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure they weren't going to lose credits they should have gotten.
yeah, that was one of the selling points for Costco.
Okay.
Through the chair.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, we have what, Wendy's and Starbucks that are going in, right?
Well, we haven't received any building permits, or Wendy's is being constructed right now. We haven't received any building permits for Starbucks, but our community development staff has talked to representatives of Starbucks.
Part of the developing of that area, you've got pretty big horsepower Galili development out of Sacramento. They're one of the largest, so it's looking good.
Yeah, it really is. We do have probably within the next year, we should have 3 new commercial tenants or new buildings being built along with Wendy's.
Okay, are we going to do a press release and when we find out about those buildings?
Yes, we'll absolutely. We'll be doing something most likely through Yes for Yuba, and then we'll also work with the county's PIO as well.
Okay.
Well, exciting times. I'm glad I'm here to observe it. Anybody else from the board?
Yes, I have another question through the chair of county council. Being as I'm 5th generation here, I'm related to a lot of people. So Sean O'Neill I'm related to him. His mother and my mother are cousins. So I don't know if that's distant enough relation that I can vote on this or not. So
you get money from him? No,
you don't have any financial.
I don't see that there is a conflict, but if you want to abstain, that should be fine.
Oh, if it's not a conflict, I'll vote. So.
Do we have any more comments? Public comments?
Okay.
And
do
a
you
motion?
Do you want to open the hearing? Open the hearing.
Open the public. Yeah, so we could do that. We're going to open the public hearing.
Okay.
And do we have any public comments or board comments?
No.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing.
Move that we.
And we have a motion.
Close the public hearing, waive the reading and adopt the ordinance adopting the development agreement with Osterparlers.
I'll second.
It's my district.
And we need a roll call vote.
Supervisor Vasquez.
Yes.
Supervisor Blazer.
Yes.
Supervisor Fuhr is absent. Supervisor Bradford.
Yes.
Supervisor Messick.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you guys so much, and I really appreciate your support of the commercial corridor and the revitalization of the Lyndhurst Avenue corridor.
Thank you.
Correspondence, Natalie, can you let us know the correspondence that we got from the United States Fish and Wildlife?
Yes, we received
glasses, didn't you?
one item of correspondence, item 195-2024, notice from United States Fish and Wildlife Service regarding reopening public comment period to May 5th, 2024 on listing northwestern pond turtle as threatened under Endangered Species Act.
Thank you. Board and staff member reports, starting with Mr. Vasquez.
Oh, okay. We have fentanyl awareness at a book release party with Tracy Norris, her book Shadows of Grief. we're going to have Tricia Marie speaking there and Janet Cotter. And Tracy's son overdosed, Marika Cole, fentanyl poisoning, and Sharita Shields outreach, and Dolores Contreras, family activity user. It's going to be from 6 to 8 at the Brick on D Street. And it's this time we started working with the public on a disease that I think is killing about 1,000 people a month in the United States. So, and one other little thing, I hope I can get some information on that Meals on Wheels contract within a week or so.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a meeting at agency last week. It got canceled for a lack of quorum, but yeah, that'll be discussed.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Supervisor Bradford.
So about a week and a half ago, we had the Yes to Yuba on the Horizon dinner. So it was an amazing evening. I want to thank all the staff that were involved in putting that on, and all the businesses that came out, and it was great to support them. For me, the theme of the last couple of weeks has definitely been transportation. I went to Cap, and in addition to serving on the flood team, I also served on the transportation team. We had meetings with the Federal Highway Administration with Congressmen Kiley, LaMalfa, Thompson, and Schiff related to regional transportation asks. I also had the opportunity to meet with the Rails to Trails headquarters in DC with just kind of a separate group aside from Cap, and learned a few things and a little bit about some of their terminology. And so hopefully that'll be helpful here. I'm also involved. RCRC has a transportation ad hoc committee that I'm involved with, and we're looking at some of the challenges that rural counties are facing with respect to state policy around transportation, specifically tying greenhouse gas emission reduction to VMT reduction, and assuming those two things are equal. And also the state's kind of ongoing push or opposition to any kind of capacity increasing projects, and the impacts that those policies are having on rural counties. So I'm very excited to be participating on that. Other counties around the state, whether they are in kind of fast growing areas like us, or even in the Eastern Sierra, they're having trouble getting 395 widened for similar reasons. And so it's nice to gather with folks that have similar challenges, and hopefully advocate the state to move beyond a one size fits all with respect to some of those policies. Had a SACOG board meeting last week. One of the things we did was provide allocation of SB 125 funding, which is transit funding. And on that list, Yuba-Sutter Transit received $10 million of that funding for their next gen transit facility. So that was very exciting. We also continue to move forward with the blueprint, which is the regional land use and transportation plan for the next 25 years. There was a discussion scenario presented to the board. The board also provided direction for staff to come back with an alternative scenario that we wanted to look at, which focused more of the growth in the region in some existing developing communities, and kind of assumed their build out during the plan horizon to see what that would do with respect to meeting the greenhouse gas targets that the state imposes on the region. Yesterday, I was down in Sacramento for the majority of the day with SACOG, as well as MTC from the Bay Area and the San Joaquin County COG. Representatives from each advocating with respect to our regional mega region transportation projects. There's 12, we call them the mega region dozen. Probably the 3 on there that are most impactful to Yuba-Sutter residents are toll lanes across the Yolo Causeway, toll lanes on I-5 from downtown to the airport, and also the Valley Rail project, including the North Valley Rail segment. And finally, one final transportation item, we'll be hosting SACOG leadership for a tour of Beale Air Force Base on Monday, and I'm really looking forward to that. So,
thank you. I'd like to afterwards get more input from you on the Rails to Trails organization. Their website is phenomenal.
It was a very useful meeting. I was glad that we were able to meet with them.
Supervisor Messick.
Well, I'm worn out just from Gary's comments. I'd like to since Public Works is one of the few people left here, I'd like to thank you guys. Every time I get a hold of you, it's immediate response, immediate taking care of things. And I know you're getting bombarded by calls from the public constantly and having to deal with that. So you guys are just doing great work. Again, I'll bring up the fact that we had our board comments at the beginning of the meeting. There'd be 100 people here to listen to us instead of 10. So,
Okay.
pass.
County
Mr.
Council.
Chair, could I bother you? I forgot something. The presentation that we did yes to Yuba out at the airport, would it be possible to do it in the government center and let some of the staff know the things that they were involved in? Because I don't think that they really understand how much we've grown in the last 10, 15 years. And I would think it'd be a good pride builder for our staff to know that they're working very efficiently, unlike some counties.
Yeah, there's a lot of great information, and that I guess you could almost call it a reception out there at the airport. I've been to a lot of things, wedding receptions. This was the classiest event I think I've been to.
Well, it's amazing the artwork that went into explaining what's happening in Yuba County, and
it was a great event, well organized. It was really good.
So that's a yes.
What?
Well, when you finish with Andy, I wanted to add.
Okay.
That's a yes.
The what?
That's a yes. It's a good idea.
Oh, that's a yes. Oh, it's a wonderful idea. Yes. Okay. And
I wanted to add, I went to a funeral yesterday at Sutter Cemetery. Wendell Anderson was there as well. Chi Vang, who has a CY fruit stand up on Iowa City Road and Loma Rica Road, his father passed away. His father was an immigrant from Laos, served under the U.S. Army in the Vietnam War. You know, I still get emotional a little bit about it. He was pretty much of a war hero. And I just wondered if we could do some type of a proclamation. I called Mary and talked to her about it, but I want to talk to you, the chair, that we could do something for his family.
yeah, we should work out something on that. Sure.
Okay. Yep.
County Council.
Janet Bender, our new county council, starts tomorrow. So
Cool.
that is our update.
And Kevin?
Well, I'm glad the board appreciated the On the Horizon event. That was definitely a team effort there. You know, we had Rachel Downs with in the Yes to Yuba group within CDSA. They worked with Brenda Stranix with Yuba-Sutter EDC. We had some outside vendors that, you know, local vendors that we pulled in to help pull that together. I'm glad the board appreciated the presentation. So we'll figure out how to integrate the messaging and that presentation into a message back to staff so that they understand what's going on in our communities and how we're growing. What?
Big enough.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And then tomorrow, as a reminder to the board, we're recognizing employees with their years of service when they've hit milestones. And that this is milestones achieved in 2023 for 20, 25, 30, 35 years of service with our organization.
And then we might do some individual.
Yes. So we'll have for those that reach 10 and 15 years, we will have that recognition here in the board chambers here in the near future.
Thank you. Anything from the clerk of the board?
Nothing for us. Thank you.
So I attended the CSAC Board of Directors meeting last Friday. A lot of time is spent on legislative analysis, and it seems to be true everywhere nowadays. But I'm going to give you just one example of what CSAC does for us to try to wade through this morass. AB 2561 is advertised as a California Neighborhood Food Act, helping with community gardens. Well, all right, so far, but attached to that is another section. Let me read this because it affects most jurisdictions. Has nothing to do with community gardens. each public agency with bargaining unit vacancy, so we are a public agency, we have bargaining units.
Yes, we do. We actually have,
Maybe?
yes, we have multiple.
Multiple. So what they're saying is if your bargaining unit vacancy rate exceeds 10% for more than 90 days. So if you have 100 in your department and you have more than, I can't do the math, pretty simple math. Yeah, if you have a vacancy of more than 10 within the past, say for more than 90 days within the past 180 days, then you shall promptly meet and confer with the representative of the reorganized employee organization as defined, et cetera, et cetera. And you have to come up with a plan to get back up to above the 90%. And the plan shall include an assessment of all the following substantive components, and it goes on and on and on. So it just is an example of something that has nothing to do with the original bill that is kind of buried in this bill, that if organizations like CSAC doesn't spend the time and sort it out, you're going to get stuck with most anything. Are you familiar with that?
Familiar with the state hiding the ball? Yes. But also familiar with this particular legislation. And yeah, both my office and Human Resources are tracking that. And we will obviously come up with a game plan on how to address it if this is, in the wisdom of the state, a good idea to adopt.
Well, obviously CSAC's formally opposing it, so we'll see if it even goes anywhere. But it's just like an example of how your government works. All right, moving on. I think we're going to take about a 10-minute break, a social break, and then we will start closed session in 10:37.
So it used to be, they used to call it debt.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
In the heart of Yuba County's wine country lies a quiet estate, surrounded by tall pines, a lake with waterfowl and fish, and room to party. Eat hearty. Engage in nuptials.
I do.
Sit quietly by the fire pit and sample Yuba Foothills Vintner's finest. Frenchtown Inn, just 38 minutes from Marysville, a world away from cares.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow. With in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada Counties.